Hi everyone, I'm Jojo Silvestre and
And
I'm
I'm
with
Dina Ventura, and welcome to
Spotlight.
Spotlight.
Spotlight is the lifestyle show of Tribune Now, and it premieres a new feature every Thursday at 4 in the afternoon.
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now.
The Daily Tribune is one with the nation. The the Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis. And in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition on Press Reader is now available for free online.
You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online.
Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber, Katribu, to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day.
Sarcito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on this link on this video to join.
So today,
Yes.
we have very special guests.
Welcome to, welcome to Spotlight. May we hear from each of you? Could you introduce yourselves? We can start with Miss Philippines Earth 2020.
Hi, I'm Roxy Bayans, Miss Philippines Earth 2020. Thank you so much, Daily Tribune, for having us.
And then,
Miss Air, Miss Philippines Air.
Hello, isang makabuluhan at makakalikasang araw sa inyong lahat. This is your Miss Philippines Air, Patricia Santos.
Thank you. And Miss Philippines Water, please.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. My name is Gianna Llanes, and I am your Miss Philippines Water 2020.
and Miss Philippines Fire 2020.
Isang makakalikasang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ako si Shane Quintana Tormes, ang inyong Miss Philippines Fire 2020.
Hi to all of you.
Hello, welcome.
Good afternoon.
And of course, congratulations for
Yes.
winning the crown.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so everybody's excited to get to know you a little bit better. Maybe we can start with asking you why you joined the competition. Why did you join this beauty contest in the first place? Anybody can speak up if they want, please.
Yeah.
Well, as for me po, can I go first?
Yes.
Well, as for me, I am a daughter of an environmentalist.
Mhm.
So at a very young age, I was already aware of nature responsibility. And when I was choosing a pageant, I really wanted something close to my heart that I have known my entire life. That's why I chose this Philippines Earth, because it is also an advocacy-driven pageant, and I really uplift their cause for the environment.
Mm, thank you. That's a very nice reason. Thank you, Roxanne. And who else would like to answer?
Okay, can I answer?
Yes.
Okay. I have actually been an avid fan of traveling, and since my environmental advocacy is about sustainable ecotourism, knowing that my place that I represent is Atimonan, Quezon, it's one of the primary ecotourist destinations in the province of Quezon. I would really want to be of help to our local government unit when it comes to protection of the ecotourism sites that we have here, since we have a lot of unexplored ecotourist destinations here that are yet to be known and recognized all over the Philippines. Aside from that, trivia also, I've joined already Miss Philippines Earth way back 2017. Right after that, since with the course of activities that we did, it was able, through the immersion that I did also through the traveling, I had this environmental awareness. It awakened that environmental consciousness that I want to put in a larger scale of platform. Since I've also been an active advocate of different organizations, then why not also be proactive in campaigning for environmental protection through Miss Philippines Earth?
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe hear from the Miss Gianna.
Yes, well, this is my third pageant ever, and even before I joined pageantry, I knew that I would join Miss Philippines Earth someday. I've been following the pageant, the organization itself, for many years, and what I always admired about Miss Philippines Earth is that they truly valued women with intellect and women who are willing to do actions as well. So I think all of us girls can agree that in these past few months, we were truly pushed to walk the not just walk the walk, but also actually take action in everything that we are advocating for. So I am so happy that I joined this national pageant, and I definitely encourage other girls to do so as well if they want to make a difference.
So,
One
are
more.
they
We
complete?
have one
Yeah.
more, Patricia.
Yes, and as for me, I've always been so big on advocacy. So when I figured out that I had a chance to join Miss Philippines Earth, I immediately thought that it would be a great platform to be able to pursue what I really wanted, which was to invite more people, challenge communities to become better caretakers of our planet by reducing their carbon footprint. So I wanted to be part of the reason why many of our countrymen will be encouraged to learn more about what simple steps and choices they can make to live a life that is more sustainable and more in harmony with our environment.
They have such noble reasons.
I know.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
speak so well, and they're
yeah,
all very beautiful.
yeah. But
Gosh.
I wonder at some point, because I'm not sure, no, but I suppose they found out about the problem of the environment not only now, not only when they decided to
To
join
join.
the contest,
Mhm.
even before that. So, at what point did you realize that something was wrong with the environment? How old were you then, and what was that thing that made you become conscious of the need for promoting environmental conservation and protection? Would anyone like to answer that? Like, when was it that you realized something was wrong?
I have to do something. Parang ganon.
Yeah.
I guess I can go first now. I'm a Bicolana and I grew up in Daraga Albay.
Uy.
So we are neighbors with a natural wonder or a natural disaster sometimes, which is the Mayon volcano. So when I was in high school, we were in a lot of typhoons, and I really realized during the one of those moments is that when after the typhoon to the municipality park, and there were a lot of casualties and a lot of dead bodies were being lined up in that park, and I was in shock.
Yeah.
And
Wait lang po. Ay,
I
sorry.
just asked my parents what happened, and I was told that in connection to the typhoon, because of the slow degradation of the
Environment.
mountains that was surrounding our area, it led to fatal flooding that claimed so many lives. And growing up, I just thought of that. I just thought of why our environment was degrading, and why is it that people are not taking care of it better when they just know that so many of their human actions were causing these disasters. And if in the first place we could prevent it, then why do we ignore the consequences? And so this further inspired me to become the kind of student leader then that always thought about the consequences of our actions. And this is something that I always would discuss with a lot of my colleagues and friends. And I guess I'm very proud to be able to stand before you now, not with just a crown on my head, but with the personality to be able to reach more people about these kinds of problems that we're facing.
Very nice. Very well said.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Very eloquent.
Yeah. Is there anyone else who would like to answer the same question?
Yeah. Actually, that environmental awareness and consciousness was awakened through traveling, because I'm really fond of nature-based experiences, hiking, visiting islands. I know that a lot of Filipinos are also putting up a lot on their bucket list. And since Philippines is known to be a very good tourist destination all over the Philippines, I've grabbed that opportunity also to know and to have an immersion through these nature-based experiences that I had. And it was when I realized that there's really a problem existing through the travels that I made, because a lot maybe of the tourists here in our country are also kind of irresponsible with their actions, most especially with just throwing your own trash. Well, the most problem that we have right now, why a lot of tourist destinations are being ruined because of the trash that we have, and the reason also behind why Boracay was locked down, also was shut down to the tourists, is because the tourists are also irresponsible, and even the local communities there. And that was the main reason why I would wanted to be of help also. And I come up with my environmental advocacy, which is sustainable ecotourism, because as one of what my mentors also said to me, that you don't have to wait for your leaders to do something and to lead the way. Because if you can't see and you don't want to wait for them to do something, you could do also something. You could also lead your own way, which is meaning making. You could make your own definitions of leading, on how to be of help on that certain circle that you have. And I believe I am doing my best to maximize the influence that I have right now to be of help to my community, and most especially when it comes to environmental awareness.
Very nice. Yeah.
Does anyone else?
Yes.
Yes. Well,
Go ahead.
okay. Okay. Well, as for me, I grew up in Baguio City. As we all know, it's a very good destination with very cool climate, a lot of trees. But throughout the years, it has been environmentally, it has been degrading environmentally. A lot of trees are cut for urban development. The situation of Baguio is no longer the same. The air quality is not as good as it was before. So as I get older, as every year passes by, I see the changes. And I thought to myself, is this how it's going to be? Every year, something, it's going to just get worse. So it really just starts with the people. We have to learn to be responsible. And that's why I also chose my advocacy. It breaks my heart seeing all the pine trees cut off. So I really hope not only Baguio City, but other parts of the Philippines would consider regreening their homes and business areas as well. And I'm happy because Baguio City has an aggressive regreening program now mandated by ordinances. So I still have hope for Baguio City. I feel that the beauty of Baguio will come back soon.
Yeah, that's right. No?
Very, that's very much relevant now.
And yeah, for me, I actually grew up in Canada. So I moved back here to the Philippines when I was 12 years old. And in Canada, we have very strict laws about where you throw your waste, how you segregate your trash, and we don't have natural disasters there. So when I moved back here to the Philippines, I realized how terrifying, these calamities are, especially for the marginalized communities, and it causes numerous sicknesses. I'm actually a journalist by profession, so I think that's really what influenced me to start taking action and use my platform as a journalist to influence my peers in making wiser decisions when it comes to sustainable living, especially making those decisions for the marginalized communities who do not have the liberty to live a green lifestyle. So I think that's what really influenced me to use my voice in every way and to get my peers to do so as well.
Nice. So you're,
Is it
Okay,
easy?
I'll go first. Well, as for me, it was very much challenging knowing that we would be graded by the judges virtually. So I really had to think of a strategy to shine on camera and project well. And of course, I was locked down in a place away from my family and my team. So it really taught me to be independent and make the most out of the resources available. So I was humbled and just really resourceful with the flow of the entire pageant. And I thought to myself, virtual or not, this is my dream. I'm still gonna push through. It is true that you can still bloom beautifully wherever you are planted. And my faith and my purpose is what I think brought me to the end.
Nice. How about you, Miss Gianna? What can you share with us about the experience of this competition during the pandemic?
Well, yes, when I first found out that this was going to be a virtual pageant, I think I was in complete shock, and I even second guessed whether or not I could still push through. Just like Roxy, I'm away from my family. I really had to gather resources as much as possible, and I was still working then. I'm living independently, so all of my bills, I still had to find a way to pay for them. Um, but then again, I remembered the city that I was representing. I'm representing Mandaluyong City, who is going through the most insane time right now with the COVID-19. And in addition to that, we have numerous calamities with various fires, local fires. So I said, you know what, I need to be that positive light for my fellow Mandaleños, and I have to push through. And I'm not even going to lie, there were numerous times during the pageant where I did want to give up, because you do not get the same satisfaction in a virtual pageant as a physical pageant when people are cheering you on. There's an audience present. I mean, even when we were crowned, it was just a couple of our family members in the room, and we were announced with our titles through the screen. You know, there is no physical host there. So you just have to ask yourself, what is your true purpose of joining this pageant? Is it to be recognized with your title, or is it because you want to push for your advocacies? And I had to constantly remind myself of that.
Wow. So it felt very strange for you to have no audience at that. Okay, how about Miss Patricia?
Well, I think that the biggest challenge in doing this online pageant is the fact that we were all going to face uncertainties, not just on the pandemic front, but also with this kind of first time in the history of pageant in the country and even in the world that you're going to do this. So a lot of the women who were involved were facing a lot of different uncertainties and unknown factors that would discourage or will scare a woman with a weak heart. But I'm very proud to say that all 33 ladies who pushed through, I'm very proud of all of us, because they have shown their caliber, they have shown their depth as women, their resourcefulness, and the fact that they are going to do whatever they can, not just for their own personal dreams, but for the sake of the people who support them. So I'm very proud to know these women, to be with these women, and I'm just in awe of the leadership and the skills that they have all presented. So I have to say that everybody accepted that great challenge, and here we are now, just seeing how important it is to really hold on, to the power of your dreams.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yes. I think
So,
we have one more answer. Yes.
Yes, it was very challenging, very, very challenging. I'm in support of what my eco queens are saying also, because even though I've been joining pageants for a decade already, I'm used to traditional pageant, and this is the first time I'm going to do a virtual pageant. The first thing is that we have to maximize the resources that is available around us, knowing that we are in a lockdown. We have to prepare our own camera. I have to find my angles because I know I'm not telegenic enough. So I have to take note of that. I have to you know how you have to radiate that same energy you're feeling, and then you have to radiate that through that camera lenses that you have. Another thing is that I'm really used of performing in front of so many people, and I'm just really blessed enough, because maybe the blessing behind the thing and this challenge is that I got to work closer with our local government unit here in Atimonan, because they have provided and they gave that 100% support when it comes to the things that I really need. Like I'm right now in Bulwagang Balagtas, wherein this is the stage where I've been using. I've been saying this to prior of our interviews, that this is where they do the repacking of all the relief goods to be distributed to our fellow Atimonanins. And what I've thought about that before is that if I wanted to have an audience, why not perform in front of those volunteers? Because since I'm used of having audience while performing, like they will be my audience, and then they will be entertained. Well,
that's right.
it's like a win-win situation wherein I being satisfied that I have an audience, and then my audience are also satisfied with the idea that they will never be bored of putting the noodles, the canned goods inside the eco
Yeah.
bag. So it's really a work. It's a work to do, and I think it's a test of character for every 33 ladies who've joined the pageant. Because if your understanding and your purpose of joining the pageant is just after the fame or the crowning moment, then I think you'll be tired and you'll give up. But with these 33 ladies, they've proven enough that they are really concerned and they would really want to be of help, most especially this time that there's a lot of substantial changes happening in the environment because of the pandemic. I'm not saying that it's all good, but I'm saying that this is the work that we have to continuously to do.
Very,
They're all very articulate.
yeah,
if you notice,
very confident.
and they exude self-confidence, no? But I wonder really during the pageant, especially in a different situation,
Mm.
did they ever feel like a little bit insecure? Did you feel that you were losing your self-confidence? At what point was that, if at all? Was there a point during the pageant that you lost your self-confidence, your poise, the carriage, so to speak?
Maybe went through nerves or loneliness or whatever.
Yeah, okay, I'll go first, baby. Yes, definitely. There are also times that I am just crying inside the room because you felt like you're tired. Because there's a lot of we are constrained, we are restrained. The only thing that we have to do is to maximize the resources we have because there's a pandemic. It started when there's a lockdown, so we have to do and to maximize and be creative of using the resources available around to be able to carry out in a magnificent performance. I'm just really grateful enough that these ladies, I also have that support system wherein they're just pushing me in every activities that we're doing. I also cry, I have also my insecurities, but what's important is that you're already starting the journey and there's no backing out. You've already started and you just have to stick to your core, to stick to your purpose. Why are you there in the first place? And then I'm just really happy to have this crown because it's like a medal for being so patient maybe and being
So
strong.
brave.
Yeah, it's a courage. It's a courage maybe that not everyone else will have, most especially during this trying time.
Well,
Next,
yeah.
yeah, this was actually the story of my entire pageant journey. Is I was really the underdog in that.
Mm.
I mean, we had numerous minor events and preliminaries as well, and I wasn't noticed. I didn't get any special award, didn't get any medals. You know, because it's a virtual pageant, social media has such a big influence on pageantry as a whole and how you think of yourself as well. And for a very long time, I really was not recognized. And my Eco Angel sisters know that. I would cry to them and say, I want to give up. I don't think that this is for me. I don't think that this is worth it because, as I've mentioned, I was still trying to pay for the bills while still pushing through with the resources that we needed for the pageant. So it was quite difficult. But I shared this story in another interview previously that my grandfather, who I always looked up to, on his last days on earth, he watched me during my very first pageant. And this time around, he wasn't around here, so my grandma would always remind me, like, he would be very disappointed if you quit right now. And a lot of people also told me that pageantry has shifted in that, you know, those awards don't mean anything. Recognition doesn't mean anything. If people hear how genuine you speak, the message that you want to convey, that is when you will really make a difference. And after we received these crowns, numerous of my Eco Angel sisters who were also candidates messaged me and said that they felt like giving up as well. And even though they didn't end up with a crown, they feel like they're a true queen because they pushed for their purpose. And I think that's a great testament for all of our journees.
Yeah, certainly, you know, very difficult for
Yeah. With I'm teary-eyed.
me too. Is anyone else going to answer the question?
Yes. Well, as for me, I did have my share of hindrances, just like my Eco sisters. I felt most insecure at the point when it was our pre-pageant. and I did not expect that my Eco Sisters has prepared so much for their background. So I didn't have much resources. I was locked down here in Metro Manila. I had as I said earlier, I had to make the most out of what was given to me. So all I had was a plain white background and 2 plants to cover the socket on the background. So I felt really insecure, and I just cried that day that I felt that, how am I gonna win? Is it going to still be graded fairly if with me having no background and just the performance alone? But as the competition went on, I have observed and I had faith in the judges that they are smart enough to judge the girls or grade them not only based on the resources they have considering the situation, but on their performance and the way their mind and heart speaks. And it's also good knowing that I'm not the only one feeling this. I have 32 other Eco Sisters feeling the same thing. So whenever I'm discouraged, I know that I am not alone, and I had to look at it as a blessing in disguise. And despite the hindrances, you have to find the silver lining of it all. And the best part is knowing I am still healthy to compete. I was blessed.
Right.
Yes, I was blessed with good health. Therefore, I'm still going to push through.
Yeah.
And make my dreams come true with all the power that is given to me.
Yeah. At this time, you really should be grateful for your
The number
good
one
health.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have they all?
Why
Is there
not?
someone
And-
else? Oh.
And as for me,
Okay.
this is actually a long and winding journey. Like Shane, I've been at it for decades. I actually joined my first national pageant when I was 17. This was Binibining Pilipinas. And now, years later, this is the moment that I've always been waiting for. And I have to say that, I had to do a lot of life choices in between. I had to finish my law degree first because, I was an only daughter of a widow, and I had to also juggle my own responsibilities to myself and to my family. But at the same time, there was this dream lingering behind all those career choices. And so when I had this opportunity, I had to admit that every step of the way, there were a lot of doubts. There were a lot of questions in my head. Was I doing the right thing, not taking the bar? Was I doing the right thing, chasing this dream? And I've always been asked by a lot of people that question why. But I've always told them, we don't really know the answer to all the whys, but we know the purpose. At the end of the day, your dreams should always be dictated by you and what you love. And that's the message that I want to share with people right now, that there will be a lot of times that you will be judged and you will be told that you are not enough, but don't give it any mind. Just have faith in yourself and in God, because your time will come.
They all speak very well.
Yeah,
no?
I think they're my heroes now, Jojo.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's right. No?
Speaking of heroes, of the many heroes of the environment, whom do you admire most and why?
Wait.
What?
Let's have a break.
Okay.
Okay. Tribune Now, the Spotlight will be back.
Nais po naming humingi ng paumanhin sa anumang pag-aalalang na idulot ng ating bills ngayong Mayo at Hunyo. Di po namin inasahan ang naging hirap para sa ating lahat dulot ng COVID-19 pandemic.
Pero nakapagbasa na kami ng Metro, kaya ang May at June bills ay may actual meter reading na ng inyong konsumo. Ito ay maaaring bayaran ng installment depende sa inyong konsumo noong February 2020. Kung wala sa bahay o sarado ang shop noong ECQ, makikita ang adjustment sa inyong bills ng Mayo o Hunyo. Kung nabayaran na ang inyong estimated March at April bills, pwede itong i-refund sa aming business centers or i-apply sa susunod na bills. Para naman sa mga di nakatanggap ng bill noong Mayo, huwag pong mabigla kung mataas ang ating bill sa Hunyo dahil sakop nito ang inyong nakonsumo noong ECQ. Pero para makagaan, 1/4 lang muna nito ang kailangan bayaran. Ang balanse, pwedeng i-installment.
At good news, bumaba ang overall electricity rates ng 2 centavos per kilowatt hour ngayong Hunyo. 2 buwan nang magkasunod ang pagbaba ng rates. Hanggang sa susunod na Meralco Advisory!
Ikaw ba ay may pack na cooking skills at bonggang-bonggang level of singing performance? Kung oo, baka ikaw na ang hinahanap na Phoenix Super LPG Calderoque Royalty. Para sumali, sundin lamang ang nasa website ng Phoenix Super LPG Calderoque at i-upload ang inyong best video na kumakanta habang nagluluto. I-like at i-follow ang Phoenix Super LPG page. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Sarap pala magluto. Sali na!
And we're back in Spotlight. So let's go back to the question about the environmental heroes for our ladies. Maybe start with Miss Roxanne.
Well, my favorite environmentalist would have to be Greta Thunberg. She, at such a young age, she has already impacted a lot of people and helped them consider living a more sustainable life, and how she educates her fellow youth and go around schools to to show and to give a set of actions for environmental responsibility to people as young as her. So she has so many programs, as well as the Flig Scam, which I support. And I think even at such a young age, she has already done so much practices and is fighting against the detrimental effects to our environment. So I thought, what more when she's my age or even older? She could be the change that we want to see in the world, and she would encourage us to do the same as young as she is. And I admire her for that.
Great. Miss Roxanne, how old are you?
23.
Oh, wow. That's the perfect age. Anyway, so maybe hear
For
from
what?
Miss Shane for
Perfect
everything.
what? Okay.
Shane.
Yes, my eco-hero would be the late Miss Gina Lopez. She's very, very active during her time when it comes for environmental protection. And what I really admire about her is the way she saved Palawan. Remember, she had a campaign called Save Palawan, wherein she encouraged around 7 million signatures for a petition to save the biodiversity in Palawan when it comes also to mining. So I really just admire her strength and courage to fight off those big personalities that time to stand up for environment, because I just realized that in order for us to save the environment, we don't have to depend others to save it for us. We should really stand for ourselves, because we are just one of the tenants of this world, and we really have the responsibility to stand with our moral obligation, not just taking good care of others, but taking good care of our environment, because this is the source of our survival and well-being. So I really admire her strength and courage, and I'm just really looking forward also that I would be able to have that vibe to stand up when it comes to going to the right thing, when it comes to environmental protection and other things that she advocates also.
Gina Lopez. I really admired her also. Interviewed her once.
I never met her.
She's very passionate. Okay, maybe here for Miss Diana. Diana.
Well, somebody I admire, she's not an environmentalist per se, but really admired me to use my voice in saving the environment is our mayor here in Mandaluyong, Mayor Menchi Abalos. I was able to talk to her before the quarantine. And not only do we have a green building ordinance here in Mandaluyong, even though we're business centric, and I think it's prone to pollution because we have the high rise buildings, they found a way to really enforce that green building ordinance. But when I spoke to her as well, she really wanted to find ways where the youth can be more involved in saving Mother Earth. So we're actually working on a project right now where we'll be delivering plants to the youth, especially who are going through mental health issues. And with what's happening in my city right now, for the city's leader to still care about incorporating living green and living a sustainable lifestyle in their citizens' daily living, it's very inspirational, and I really admire that.
Nice. Miss Patricia?
As for me, I have the same answer as our Miss Philippines Earth. You know, it's really through and through, it's going to be Greta Thunberg. I've always admired because despite her young age, she has been able to make a stand. And this stand has always been about protecting our environment. And I think that so many of us has forgotten to take that stand, especially when we get too much preoccupied with other affairs such as economics, politics, and especially now our issues on health. And I think that at her young age, she continues to become an icon for bravery, because one of the things that we must realize is that there are a lot of things that there are a lot of discussions going on about our environment, and there is a fight indeed. And she has grown into a wonderful warrior. In fact, here in the Philippines, she is supporting us because she's telling us and reminding us that fighting for the environment is also about environmental activism, and that we must tell our political leaders that we want to prioritize environmental policies as we move forward into this new normal. So for me, Greta Thunberg is one of the best environmental icons that we must strive to emulate.
Yeah, yeah. Aren't you thinking of me as your hero also?
Jojo, my hero.
You know, they're very responsible and they're very aware. You know? And I was wondering how they would promote environmental conservation and protection at this time. How do you intend to go about your task?
During the pandemic, it's very
Yeah.
hard. You can't really go out. And so
Yeah.
what will you do?
Yeah, oo nga. So,
Yes, let's start with Miss Roxanne.
Well, my advocacy is actually urban gardening, and it is pretty much relevant and timely during this pandemic because not all people has the resources or has the money to provide for their families. So I really wanted to push through with food security, uplifting urban agriculture with my advocacy, and I really speak a lot about the Plant program of the government, put up by Department of Agriculture, Ahon Lahat, Pagkaing Sapat, laban sa COVID-19, where they are not only giving technical assistance to fisheries and farmers, but they are also giving free seeds away. So everybody watching, you can get your free seeds at your local government unit and start urban agriculture at your own homes. And as Miss Philippines Earth, I have now a bigger platform that could pave a way to a more inclusive reach. I could open more eyes to the benefits of sustainability and teaching them that you don't have to have, no matter how big or how small your spaces are, you can still fully utilize it with planting. So planting is a very simple word, but it is what sustains billions of lives of not only humans, but also flora and fauna. And it's good to eat organic fruits and vegetables at this point in time to have that kind of nutrition. So I really want to open more eyes to the potential benefits of urban gardening.
Yay! I like that.
yeah, that's right. It's just right there. Huh?
Yeah. How about Miss Shane?
Well, actually, during the start of the year, January, we've already been moving forward with my 3 environmental campaigns. So I have the Eco Youth Summit, wherein we are going to have like a 1-week seminar already with the schools, with the students here in Atimonan in our province. I also have the Live No Trace campaign and the Project OK, which is Upland Kalinisan, wherein we were going to involve all the households here in Atimonan for a cleaner and greener Atimonan. We've already been pushed for about 20% during the early start of the year, but we have to step back a little because there's a pandemic, and we have to, of course, we have to follow and be obedient with the protocols and guidelines. But we all know that digital is the way to move forward, so we still continued with the environmental campaigns wherein we just used my social media platforms to continuously promote it. And just like 2 months ago, I've started my online talk show since I'm an events host. So why not use my social media platforms to create contents that will encourage and give rise to environmental consciousness and awareness, wherein it's called Eco Angels Unite. So that's program is all about featuring and recognizing the efforts of real life eco angels, wherein they will be introduced through my show. And of course, we will be able to show to everyone what little efforts they do when it comes to helping saving our environment. So I've been meeting real life people here, local people, when it comes to Bantay Dagat, those people in Sikap who are also farmers. So, you know, not just beauty queens can only be the eco angels, but I would like to remind everyone that we have that innate eco angels inside of us. It's just a matter of cultivating this concern in order for this eco angel to fly high. So we all have wings. So just recently I finished my another episode. I've already uploaded it to my Facebook page, and I'm planning to upload that in the next few days through my Instagram, to my IGTV and Instagram, so that people will be more educated of how they would be of help. Like I've always been saying this, that our small part is a start of something good. We don't have to start in a big ways. The simple things that you can do inside your homes and the simple efforts that these people are doing can have a very big effect in all of us. So it's a collective action of everybody.
Yeah.
So that's how I actually move forward with my advocacies. And I still have a lot of plans, but soon to reveal.
We look forward to that. How about Miss Gianna?
Yes, well, my advocacy is natural disaster risk education. And the reason for that is, as I mentioned, I grew up in Canada, but my brother was born here and he developed asthma because of the Mount Pinatubo eruption, which made me want to research more about it and want to keep people more aware. After the Taal volcano eruption and after I reported that as a journalist, that's when I actually began my natural disaster know-hows talks. And that's in collaboration with the Department of Education. I've been able to visit various public schools around my city of Mandaluyong to talk about the importance of knowing what to do prior, during, and after a natural disaster. And of course, the value of living a sustainable lifestyle to reduce the man-made climate change that causes these calamities to worsen. So I'm talking to the Department of Education right now in my local government unit on how we can digitize it so it's accessible to more of the youth nationwide. And right before this interview, I actually was in a student seminar giving my talk about natural disasters to some students from Cagayan. So it's so cool how, you know, technology has shifted and given that ability nowadays. Today, I also came from an initiative that I'm going to start, and it's distributing relief goods to various marginalized communities across the Philippines. So today we went to Bahay Pag-asa in Mandaluyong and to some of the marginalized communities in Barangay Hulo to distribute relief packs with just the necessities, because as I mentioned, Mandaluyong is going through a crazy time right now. I've also been working with youth-led organization Pantawid COVID Project also to distribute relief goods outside of Mandaluyong naman. And then Protect the Frontline, I've been delivering meals as well with them to our medical frontliners across the Philippines. So those are some of my initiatives with my advocacy. Now, as Miss Philippines Earth Water, I am a huge fan of the beach. So I've already been talking to some coastal communities on how we can provide programs for indigenous communities right now that live by the coast, how we can provide for them, and how we can educate people on the importance of marine biodiversity. And finally, as a journalist as well, I am starting an initiative that will allow the youth to be more comfortable in talking about their opinions about what's going on within the Philippines and across the entire world. It's kind of crazy right now, and I think that we really need to express our freedom of speech.
Yes. Nice. Miss Patricia?
And as for me, I've always been very vocal about my initiative, which I call the Be Better initiative, where I want to be able to challenge people that, hey, these are the different things that you have to focus on if you want to reduce your carbon footprint and thereby make this world a better place and stop the climate change situation that we are grappling with. So for me, as Shane said earlier, the digital is the way to go. So I'm really hoping to push forward with this online show wherein I'll be collaborating with a lot of different organizations, both private and government. And we want to focus on the action points. And just a quick run through, it's BETTER. It's an acronym and it means be ban single-use plastics, where we will be working with our friends in Congress, because I used to work there for a while, and we will be working with some of the representatives' office to prioritize this bill, this measure that I think is very appropriate, considering the fact that we are in the danger of facing a pandemic of plastic with everything that is happening in the world right now. And there is a steady rise in the pollution in terms of plastic and other waste that is being produced in different areas. So that is certainly something I'm very excited about. Then the letter E is about encouraging backyard gardening or agriculture in general. And I'm very happy to be working with the Department of Agriculture in letting people know that they have the Kaya loan program wherein they are going to provide up to 500,000 in loan to agripreneurs. So we want to encourage 18 to 30-year-old dreaming kids or teenagers or youth who are dreaming to become agripreneurs, because we've seen that they have a lot of difficulties, especially when it comes to capital. So the DA is pushing through with this program, which they should engage themselves in. Then another is the letter T, which is about teaching the value of water and sanitation and hygiene. So I wish to be able to go back to Daraga Albay, who has a problem in water, and educate them with the value of water harvesting. And then another T is the transition to sustainable transportation and renewable energy. And so we will be working with different organizations to focus on policies that would help this, like for example the biking communities, and then the modernization of jeepneys who also affect our air quality. And then the next one is emphasis on environmental education, which would be kind of solved by this online show, showing people the information they need. And last but not least is request our local and national leaders to prioritize our environmental policies as we move forward into the new normal. And we will be doing this by collaborating with a lot of the local government units that we have on hand, and encouraging them that really we don't really want a new normal, we want a better normal.
Yeah.
She's from Albay.
Yes, she's like
No-
a babayan.
No wonder she's very good, huh? Are you an educator? What do you do
I'm
for
actually a
living?
law graduate from UP.
Law graduate.
So
from
hello
UP.
to all the scholars ng bayan who do everything in their power to make a
okay.
difference.
Yeah, I was so surprised when you said you were already a graduate of law, because I thought you were just 17. Yeah. Okay, I think we'll pause for a short break.
Oh, I
We'll be
thought you
back.
wanted.
In the days ahead, we need to lean on the values that make us a great company, the Malasakit, for which we are known. And the understanding that, as San Miguel, we stand for something far greater than ourselves. That we have the responsibility to extend a hand to those who most need it. It is our sense of duty and obligation, pagkakaisa and malasakit, that will see us through these difficult times. Kwentong Malasakit.
With these cell sites, it affords us better cooperation and communication with the outside world, because it is vital for FU and RMF to have this. We are now dependent on this cellular signal, and it has helped us a lot. Connectivity is not a problem because we allowed these cell sites to prevail and to be on our roof deck and our helipad. Hindi tayo mawalan ng signal sa lahat ng rooms namin dahil may cell site tayo sa taas. It's one of our major advantages. I think that's the greatest decision that I was a part of, because if not, we would probably be in a worse case right now. I'm thankful that we allowed these cell sites to be installed. I'd like to think and hope that all hospitals have that. We have not had any case of cancer regarding cell sites. As a matter of fact, we employ many cell sites and many boosters inside the hospital. For us, it has saved lives. I think with this new normal, we have realized that we are more dependent on this technology. Cell sites, if not connectivity, are a must.
Araneta City, home to the country's first indoor shopping mall, the world's original Thrilla, and the first ever Bini Bini pageant. Now a place for your first win, your first catch, your first home, your first big break, your first date, and even your first love. Araneta City, the city of firsts.
Welcome back to Tribune Now's Spotlight. We're on the final phase of our show this afternoon. We'd like to ask the ladies their final words to our audience. I'm sure they have something to share with her, especially our young people and
The
everyone
youth,
else, the Filipino people. What would you like to tell them?
What is your simple message of hope or whatever?
Yes, who would like to start?
Okay.
Start with Ms. Roxanne.
Well, it has been more than a week now since we are crowned, and I'm very grateful for those who are still sending their unconditional love. So to my supporters, my friends, my family, maraming salamat po sa inyo. And to everyone watching, I hope you are all safe at your respective homes. Always remember to continue to take proper precautions. And we really need collective efforts and work in solidarity to finally put an end to this pandemic. And I hope you would also support my initiative as the ambassadress of Zero Hunger Philippines. Let the spirit of bayanihan prevail during this pandemic. There are still millions of our kababayans who are suffering from hunger. So I hope we do reach out, because this is the time that the world needs us now more than ever. And please also do support, or you can follow my Straight from the Heart program on Instagram. That's where I feed strays and pets in need here in the metro. I really want to send the message that all lives matter. And since pets or strays aren't always the priority, I hope we leave a little piece of our heart for them and reach out, because they matter too. And to everyone suffering from anxiety, as for me, I have been feeling these kinds of things during this pandemic. But know that you are not alone, and don't be too hard on yourself. Just take one day at a time and have faith. We can get through this together. So always choose to be kind to yourself and to others. And after all, the greatest way is to always lift your worries to the Lord above. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Our next one is Ms. Shane.
So it's already been a week of us being crowned as the new first virtual queens in the entire history of beauty pageant in the Philippines. And we're very much grateful, first and foremost, to everyone who've been sending your unwavering love and support to us, the newly crowned queens of Miss Philippines Year 2020. And we would like to give thanks to Carousel Productions for allowing us to use your platform in moving forward with our environmental advocacy and be be of help when it comes to environmental protection. Sa lahat po ng aking kababayan, alam ko po na isa tong napakahirap na sitwasyon para sa ating lahat, pero nawa po ay magkaroon pa rin po tayo ng pag-asa sa ating puso. Let us strengthen the Filipino value of bayanihan. This is the perfect time for us to uplift each others, magtulungan po tayo dahil lahat naman po tayo nasa iisang sitwasyon ngayon at lahat po tayo apektado. I've always been saying this, that let's afford this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to rethink about our actions and develop a better approach, not just towards each other, but as well as towards our environment. Since there's such a lot of substantial changes happening in our environment, may this motivate us to do our little efforts on how could be eco-friendly, just as the way of changing your toothbrush from the conventional to a bamboo toothbrush is a big help already. Because your small part is a start. It's already a big portion of how you could be of help in saving the planet, because there's no planet B. We only have planet Earth. That's only one. And may I also tell to everyone that in order for us to reach the destination of healing, we must be united and be solidified in helping one another. Dahil po naniniwala ako na tayo ay nagkakaisang bayan laban sa COVID-19. Maraming salamat po for the Daily Tribune, to Sir Jojo, and to Miss Dina for inviting us this afternoon. Maraming salamat po.
Our next one is Miss Gianna.
Yes, para sa akin po, I'm still overwhelmed that I even reached the top 5 of Miss Philippines Earth, because as I mentioned, I always felt like the underdog throughout the journey. So I think na sa lahat ng sumuporta sa akin, maraming salamat. I fought and I continue to fight for you. And to my fellow underdogs that consistently doubt themselves, doubt their capabilities, remember, do not let anything get in your path. Know your purpose, know your message, and know your abilities to make a change. Para naman po sa aking kapwang Filipino, I know that these times are so uncertain for all of us. Even beyond the pandemic, there's so many things that are going on around the world. But what will really shift us to a more positive direction is if we treat each other with love, respect, and acceptance. And ultimately as well, we need to remind ourselves that when taking care of our Mother Earth, every small action will create a bigger, positive, and beautiful reaction. So we need to seize every opportunity to do that. Yung pinapagdaanan po natin, kaya natin to, we can do it together. We're a strong nation, we're a strong world, we're a strong society. We just truly have to work together to conquer and to triumph over this global pandemic.
Very nice. And last
And
but not least,
for me, my message will begin with thank you. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng taong nagbigay ng suporta, ng pagmamahal at paniniwala. You know, in the decade that I have spent chasing after this dream, I have realized the value of friendship and of having faith, not just in yourself, but also in God. So, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. And this victory is not mine, but it will always be shared with all of you. And of course, to all the Filipinos watching, I would like to put an emphasis on the fact that we have to stay positive. Everything that is happening in our lives, we have to stay focused on the future. And if we're going to focus on the future, we must always focus on what is positive. And for me, focusing on the positive means being happy that a lot of us are realizing that in times of crisis, we must demand and be conscious of accountability. Accountability not just for our leaders, but accountability also for ourselves. We are all protectors of this earth, of this environment, and we must not, wait for others to do the job that is supposed to be done by everybody. So please be mindful of your actions, be mindful of the consequences of our actions as human beings on this earth, and be accountable, because this is our job as one community, and we must work together, not just for a new normal, but for a better normal for all.
Grabe. I'm so proud of them.
They're all magagaling.
Yes. So on that very positive and hopeful note, we end our show.
Yeah.
So we have plenty more
We can
questions
put back
to ask.
we can put back our masks.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you, ladies, for gracing our afternoon with your heartfelt and very wise words and your stunning beauty, and for accepting our invitation for today. Until next week, thank you for watching. This has been your host, Dina Ventura,
Our social set editor, Jojo Silvestre.
for this special episode of Tribune Now
Spotlight.
Spotlight.
Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Katribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join.